everyone, my name's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to share with you how to create this great tea card. It's made with the Botanical Gardens Designer Series paper that you can see here in the background, and then I've stamped it with an image from a nice cuppa. This tea set is found in the Occasions Catalog 2016, and it also can be bundled with the cups and kettle thinlets that look like this. And what's really nice, when you do a bundle with Stampin' Up, you can save 15% on both the stamp set and the thinlets when you purchase them together as a bundle. But today we're just going to do the stamp set with this card, and so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to need is some Cajun Craze cardstock. I've cut this at 5.5 by 8.5, scored it at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to fold along the score line and give that a nice press. The next thing that I did is I used a 4 by 4 inch square of the Botanical Gardens Designer Series paper. This is what that Botanical Gardens paper looks like. You can also find it in the 2016 Occasions catalog. And I love that it's sort of neat because you can use cream colors with some of the patterns. Thus I used Very Vanilla as the paper that I stamped on, or on the other side you'll see that we have some Whisper White, so you could also use Whisper White papers with this paper pack. And I do like how Stampin' Up! Gives such nice variety with their Designer Series paper packs. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this design, and we are just going to go ahead and, using multi-purpose liquid glue, we're going to glue that onto the front panel of our card. Let's go ahead and put this on the front panel, and we'll just make sure that all of our 3 edges here are nice and even. And I'm just gluing it towards the top. And you know what? I'm going to take my bone folder and give this a press along the back side so that the card lies flat for us while we work with it. The next thing I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and do the inside panel, and for that I have cut a piece of Very Vanilla paper, 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and then on the other side I just used another little strip of that same Designer Series paper pack, and it's just a 1/2 inch by 4 inch strip, and put that along the bottom. Then I can use some snail, and we'll just go ahead and put a strip along the top, and we'll just secure that onto the inside panel of our card. Now sometimes people ask me, Kay, why do you only put your snail at the top? Well, for one thing, you really don't need to have snail all the way around because it's secured just fine at the top. And also, when you have it just secured at the top, it makes for a more loosely flowing card, which looks a little more elegant. And I like that with my cards. I like them to look a little bit more elegant. And so that's why I do that. The next panel that we're going to use is a piece of Very Vanilla. This is cut at 3 3/8 by 3 5/8. I'm going to get my Stampin' mat out because this is a photopolymer stamp, so I'm going to be using my mat as a cushion for my photopolymer stamp. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to ink up these coffee cups with our Cajun Craze ink. So I'm just going to open that up, and I can just go ahead and ink that up really, really nicely. And then we'll just go ahead and stamp that right onto this sheet of Very Vanilla. And so here we go. Give that a good press, and you can kind of see with the photopolymers, you can kind of see through it to make sure the ink is grabbing all through. And then I'll just pull that off, and we have a really nicely inked image. Now, because I want to give this a few seconds to dry, I did go ahead and stamp this in advance so it would have time to dry and I could just keep going on with my video. So I'm going to now flip this over, and I'm going to use some snail on the back side, and we're going to put this on to a piece of gold foil. This is 2.5 by 3 3/4, and we're just going to center this in. And the reason I didn't use multi-purpose liquid glue is I didn't want the glue lines to show through on the other side, which sometimes they have a tendency to do that with Whisper White or Very Vanilla. And so that's why I usually avoid using multi-purpose liquid glue with those 2 items. So here we have our main image, and now this can go onto the front of our card with some Stampin' Dimensionals. As you can see, I've gone ahead, I've put 5 dimensionals on here, and I've taken the peelies off, so it's just ready to go right onto the front of our card. And I'm just going to go ahead and center this in so that we have about the same amount of space on both the right and the bottom section. And then we'll just press that into place. And now I want to add just a little decorative touch. And so Stampin' Up! Has, and I'll show it to you on this original card, they have these darling little accessories for this stamp set, and they're just little tea accessories. So there's one that's a teapot, and then of course there's the little lemon wedge, or you could do a spoon. Now the spoon has a pretty small little hole at the top, so when I use the spoon I usually like to use our linen thread on it, because that's a very skinny little thread. But sometimes, just to give it a little more interest, I like to use a different type of thread from Stampin' Up, and that is created with our burlap. And so what I did is I just took some of this burlap trim from Stampin' Up, and I cut it to about a length where I can make a nice bow. And then I cut off the seam along the edge, and then you can just take your finger in here and you can grab one of these and pull it away. And this is what I tied around the embellishment, this little tea embellishment, and I just made a little bow out of it, and it's so cute. So now I'm just going to put this on with a glue dot, and I like to pull my glue dots off with my paper piercing tool. So I'm just going to grab one of the glue dots, and then we're just going to set it right onto this, let's see, which side do I want to use? I think we'll put the glue dot on this side. So I'm just going to add the glue dot to the lemon wedge from the Have a Cuppa embellishment set. Let's make sure we don't have this twine attached to the glue dot. And then we can just set it on our coffee cup right where we want it, like about right here. And isn't that sweet? It is so cute. So here's how we finished up this card. So here's the card I had done in advance, and here's the card I just did for you. So I truly hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. Thank you so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. If you need a demonstrator, be sure to visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare, and I have links there where you can place product orders. Have a great day. Bye-bye.